Okay, everybody, just making some. And hello, and welcome to the Slim Nation One-on-Ones experience. And coming to you here live and on a Friday night. Now, I know most of you are probably out Friday night, but hopefully some of you all are sitting in and might see this pop up, or might see it later. And you never know when I'm gonna come up, but just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about. Well, I'm always trying to promote the channel and the different platforms that I have, and just an update on something I reported not too long ago. And those of you might be familiar with Portsmouth Coffee Talk, one of the platforms we had on YouTube and on Facebook, uh, and it's still up on both platforms, but it's not active right now. I might post something every once in a while on it, but we had that for over 5 years. And you remember we had Leah Drake Stith and Thomas the Colonel Chapman, who was my cousin, and all three of us were co-hosts on that show, and we go all the way back to the pandemic days, and one of the reasons we went to the virtual shows was because of the pandemic, because we started at first doing it in studio at the Christian Broadcasting Company, the CBC, what they're called now. And we were on a channel, and the first half an hour was on the radio, and the second half um, was on social media, on YouTube, and was on Facebook actually, and then we uploaded it to YouTube. We were using Zoom then. And then eventually, and we had quite a few shows, good shows up there, nice guests, and uh, really enjoyed that. And we did it for quite a long time. And eventually, down the road, switched um, to Yardstream, which gave us the opportunity to stream live on multiple platforms at the same time, simultaneously. And so we didn't have to wait and upload it to YouTube, and maybe sometime forget to upload it, and then we didn't have it on YouTube, but it was on there at the same time. So, but we did that Postcard Talk for a while, and then we decided to sort of back off, and the co-host could do other things, and uh, you know, other activities in their lives demanded more of their time. And then we were getting up for all those times for over 5 years to broadcast live we started out at 6 a.m. Then we went down to 6:30, and then we went to 7. But it still was an early time for all those years for be committed to do that. And then we wanted to see the channel grow a little faster, and we were on a long time, and it wasn't happening, even though we had a lot of feedback locally, but we were trying to build that audience on our YouTube channel. And it just wasn't happening as fast, as we thought. So, we kind of suspended it, and we're thinking about just coming back, not for a reunion in order to continue the show, but just to come back with the original co-hosts and just talk about some of the shows that we had, especially now, because a lot of the shows that we had on Portsmouth Coffee Talk at the time were talking about leading up to this present administration's, Trump's administration. And we were kind of in between doing when Biden was president and the first time Trump was there. And we were there and covered that as well. But in between, we talked about how important it was for us to possibly not give Trump a second time, a second chance at being president. But as we all know, it happened. The Project 2025 was out there in our face, and we talked about that a lot, hoping people would take time and read, because we were just trying to let you know that was the playbook for Trump's next uh, administration to follow. And a lot of people didn't think that that was true. So Trump said he hadn't heard of it. He wasn't familiar about with it, and it wasn't something that he was focusing on. But we all knew, the people that knew that wasn't true. And then here we are. They're following that Project 25 uh, uh, formula to a T. But that's why we wanted to come on and talk about some of the things that we talked about pre-Trump the second time, uh, and just talk about some of the other videos that we had, concerning a variety of subjects, and just to renew some of those times. And both of our co-hosts have agreed to do it. We just have to set up a time. But since then, I've launched the our take on it, featuring Slim and Shona, which is I do with every Tuesday night at 7. Do with one of my classmates, and of course, I still have the Slim Nation one-on-ones. Uh, I call it the Experience now, which I have a segment on there, City Talk with Slim, that's pretty new as well, and which I talk to people that are elected officials, people that are running this year. Hopefully, more people will come on. I already had one school board candidate on, but we hope they contact us to want to be a part of this uh, uh, show to share their platform and talk about what they want to do, or why, if they're new, why would you select them to be a part? But I really wanted to talk about briefly about AI, and it's a big concern about AI, artificial intelligence, and the effects that it's having on, some of the videos that somebody can put together. It can be used for evil, or it can be used as a benefit for social media content creators like myself, and I'll show you some of the things. This particular picture here. I hope this comes up. Okay, let's see. The Wi-Fi is running kind of slow. Okay, this picture. This picture here is of the basketball team, the IC Norcom, the year 1971, 72 team. It starts in the fall of 71, and goes into uh, 72, the new year of 72, especially if you make the playoffs. And this was a team. One thing, we were talking about AI. This the picture was original in black and white. I took it from our yearbook, which all the pictures in the yearbook of 1972 were in black and white. And AI allowed me to put this picture in color, and this is the first time I've seen it in color. Out of all these years, I don't know if it was anywhere else in color, but it definitely wasn't in color in our yearbook. And this was that basketball team that year. And what was so significant about this team? It was many, I think about at least 8 of the team members on this team were graduates of that 1972 class. And what was significant about this team was it was during the year that we boycotted. Well, a large number of students boycotted, along with people that supported the boycott effort, which they walked out and protested, and most a majority of them boycotted for about a week, until a lot of them came back to school, because it was a lot of seniors that were up for graduation, and they just wanted to make sure they made a showing. But many of the students stayed out there and got suspended and had to end up going to night school to finish. But some of those seniors that were out there end up marching with us. I mean, they were allowed to march with us once they completed their night school studies. But anyway, but it was we lost some uh, lost some teammates who wanted to support the boycott and walked out. I remember our coach making a speech to us, about, that we, about us staying or going out and protesting. And it's funny. Most of us said, okay, well, we want to boycott. We got up to walk out, and he didn't expect that. And he called us back, and that night in practice we ran. We didn't have a practice per se. We just ran and ran as part of the punishment. But we thought he was telling us he was with us if we wanted to walk out, and that's what we did. But anyway, uh, we lost a few members that did walk out and didn't come back, which opened up some slots for some members. A good friend of mine, Keith Jones, to be on the team. He had tried out several times, but he was traveling with the team as the statistician. And this gave him an opportunity to be a teammate, of ours. So that was a good thing, especially for him, since he was a pretty good ball player, but he just had not made the team previously, but he was a part of the team, traveling with us everywhere we went. And I think we had McCoy Powell, who had played football that year and wasn't going to play basketball, but uh, a slot opened up for him, and the coach asked him to come back. He's one of the taller guys on the back there. I don't know if you can. Well, you probably can't see my little pointer there, but anyway, he's one of the guys. He's the third guy from the right, McCoy Powell, who came back from the football team and joined the basketball team uh, to fulfill. But this team, with losing some of the original members of that year from the team, we were still sort of resilient. And as Buster Nelson reminded me today, when he saw the pictures, we did go to the playoffs and lost in the first round to Oscar Smith back in the day. But and we might have gone further. Who's to say? We still had a pretty good team, but we did have a one fellow that was playing for us that came down from New York. His name we is Keith Allen was his name, and we called him Giant. And he was a huge guy. I guess he was about 6'7", and I had to wait to go along with him. And it was a lot of promise with him being on the team, us going a long way. And he was one of the ones that wanted to protest and left the team. Um, so we were um, hurt by that loss, but I think we kind of made up for it. We had at least uh, four guys that were, or 4 or 5 guys that were 6 feet and over. I was one of them, and you can see me from the left. I'm the third guy from the left with the sort of crazy afro and baby face. But and at that time, I think I was just 6'4", but because after I graduated, I grew another inch and became 6'5". So I was one of the tallest back there on the back row. It was myself. Well, I started. It was Thomas Gore, starting the um, from the left of the picture, my left, Thomas Gore. It was Raymond Buster Nelson, James Big O Overton. I wasn't slim then. They called me Big O, even though I must have weighed about 150 to 170 pounds. I was real light, thin, I'll put it that way, and tall. And then it was Thomas Norman, who we recruited from the band. He normally played in the band, and his senior year he came, and he was about 6'6", I believe. And again, McCoy, um, Tony Holloway, who was a freshman at that time, and the quarterback for the Norcom team. And then it was McCoy Powell, and then it was Ronald Goodman. They used to call him Ronald McDonald Goodman. Tremendous ball player. I mean, he could snatch a rebound off the rim like nobody's business. John Holland, another guy from how we recruited these guys from New York to come down here. I guess with New York had so many basketball players, in order for some of them to play or their family just moved down here. And if you came down here and you were from New York and you were a baller, you were almost guaranteed to make somebody's team because of the respect we had for the New York players. And on the second row, Eddie Daughtry, kneeling. It's Eddie Daughtry. You call him flat. And then there was who was the next person? Oh, Archie Sexton. Um, he was a senior and knew Archie all the way from elementary school. Steve Strong, then Van Edwards, James Hudson, and Larry Warren, and then my good friend Keith Jones, and that was the team of that year that we had a pretty good year. It could have been better if the boycott hadn't sort of interrupted the season and the team, but I think we did well, and it prepared that next year's team that Buster was a part of, and a few other guys, and I think his Buster's brother, um, Frazier Nelson, they used to call him Nitty, moved up from the JV and was a part of that team where they went pretty deep into the playoffs the next year, and I think the it was Pittsburgh High School won the state championship that year, and of course they had Moses Malone. Moses Malone was on that team. So Norcom didn't get a chance to play them. They had lost out before then, but I don't think that year anybody was going to beat that Petersburg, Virginia high school team with Moses Malone on there. Because as you know, Moses Malone went straight from high school to the pros. You know, college wouldn't have been a challenge for him. I mean, he was that good in high school. So anyway, so that's the picture of our basketball team back there at IC Norcom in 71 to 72, and colorized now. Uh, like I said, the original picture was in black and white, so uh, it's good to see it colorized, and that's one of the things that AI afforded me to be able to do on a app that I have. So I'm learning several things you can do, and hopefully I can use it the to the benefit. Let me do something here. I think I'll try to get that. This platform has a survey that hopefully I can put out there for people to ask. I was asking on the survey. I don't know if it shows up somewhere. I think it'll show up on the screen there. Yeah, yeah. You see that little survey that shows up on the screen if you're watching this. Um, answer the question. Is it a benefit for the content creators on social media, or is it something that's going to be a problem for creators? Uh, what do you think? Give your opinions on that. Of course, it could be a wide range of problems that could come from the AI. People could be framed. With all the things you can do, and I can show you. I hope this comes up. This still picture of me when I was on the. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, it's not showing right now, but let's see. Let's see if we can. There it is. Okay. That's a still picture of me, and see if I can get it moving there. Well, anyway, it should be a video of showing me. First, it was an original still picture of me just dribbling, and I was able to use AI to and ask it to show me dunking the ball, and that's what it did. It's just not working now. The video is not working now, so um, I'll remove it and probably try it one more time and see if the actual video in motion will come up.
Oh,
Okay, it's trying, but okay. Well, anyway, I have that on my YouTube channel as well as Facebook. If you get a chance, check it out. And it was kind of exciting and scary at the same time that I was able to take a still picture of me just dribbling the ball for the yearbook for the 19. Well, whenever I was on JV, they took pictures individually of all the players and put them in the yearbook, and it just had all of us doing something, and they took the still picture. But I was able to use an app and ask the app to make show me slam dunking the ball. The picture was with me in the gym, and it actually it might have showed someone else's body that was close to mine. I don't know, but it had my face, and it had me turn around and dribble and slam dunk the ball, which Um, I have to admit, I could slam dunk the ball. I couldn't do it with two hands like the video showed, but I could slam dunk it with one hand, and I used to do it quite a bit in practice. And it was something back in the day when we were playing, you could not slam dunk in a game, or it was a technical foul. You could do it in warm ups. I never did it in warm ups because sometimes if you back then, if you go in the slam dunk and you miss, that's more embarrassing than anything. But I did it in practice, and the coach used to like for me to do it in practice because it fired up the team. Other players tried to do it, and but just to see a slam dunk back there in the '70s on the high school level, it's commonplace now. It was kind of exciting for the other players to see, and it was exciting for me to do. And if I think about it now, I wish I could have. I should have just did it in one of the games that if we were ahead enough, well, a technical wouldn't have hurt us. But who knows? Uh, but anyway, the AI had me doing it, and if they can have me doing that, they can have me doing something wrong or against the law and say it's me. And wow, I hope with all this AI coming right now, they have. I'm sure they have AI detectors where they can really analyze a film and tell that it's AI. But as advanced as it gets, it probably will be to a point where you won't be able to tell what's AI and what's not. I mean, they can. I've seen videos of having people that can't sing a song in their voice, but it's really you know AI can take your voice and put it in the form of a song, just like you're actually singing it, and you have no musical talent at all. And so, is that scary or not? But it's it's the way of the world, and that's what we're gonna have to deal with going forward. We either gonna have to embrace it and use it to our advantage or have fun with it, like I've done, or to make a black and white photo from years ago in color, and just like they've done, before AI, they've been able to take old movies and put them in technical color. You so it's that kind of ability has kind of always been there, but not at the point that it is now, where anybody sitting in front of a computer or a cell phone can create. whatever, almost anything they want. You know, it just depends on the quality of the app you have or of the equipment that you are using, how how real that would be. I did one video that and put it on AI of me and a friend of mine's dancing, but I actually was holding a plaque that I received, and you could tell while I was dancing, I wasn't really holding it. It was just sitting there, kind of floating in the air. So that was one way to detect that that really wasn't real. But that's what we're gonna have to deal with. But anyway, just give me your opinion of what you think whenever you see this video. Uh, Answer the poll question, or just put in the comments. This is going to be on the YouTube channel and Facebook, and just let us know how you feel about AI and where you think it's going. I mean, it's definitely going to go. One of the big issues, especially in Virginia and a lot of other places, they have this issue at near Fitz University, uh, putting up the data centers, and how how they might affect the environment or things or jobs down the road. And the unknown about it is what some of the people have concerns about here in Virginia. A lot of the companies that are coming in, putting in the data centers, see, you need the data centers in order to keep up with the AI. How that works, I'll have to bring on an expert about that. Why the data centers are so necessary for AI to be successful in in the computer world or in the social media world or however it's used. I'm sure it's going to be used in business and advertisement and whatever uh, they can use it for. That's going to be cost saving, where you might have to hire 100 people. You can hire one person and put 100 people in there. They make it look like it's 100 people, and some people will do that and say, "Look at." We've seen the president do that and say, "Look at the crowd that I have here. I must have 300,000 people here, and it's just maybe a little over 1,000, but they fill in." Well, that's going to happen. So I predict one of these days it's going to be so commonplace that all of us are going to be depending on AI. One of the issues, and my daughter is a college professor. One of the headaches she has is her students using AI uh, to try to write papers that assignment or do assignments uh, that they have to do, and it's a very serious offense if you use AI to do your paper or do your work. It could lead to expulsion from the college, and or failing out because you'll get a zero. And they have AI detectors. The teachers have the ability to, if they don't, to check and see. And those AI detectors are pretty accurate in detecting if someone has used AI improperly to do their work or write a paper. And she says she's frustrated with that, because uh, she's an English professor, and for you know that's not the place. College is not the place for to be cutting corners. It's always been an issue with some students cheating their way through, but AI is a lot more sophisticated way of cheating, and it doesn't serve you well if that's the route you want to take, and then you get out there in the real world and not prepared for the jobs that are out there that take your real knowledge, takes real knowledge in order to compete or to be heard. But anyway, so that's one of the downfalls right now with AI and students, yeah, on the college level or any other levels. being able to perfect it or using it to do their work instead of taking the time to do the work themselves and to the benefit of their experience and their education. So, but yeah, I hope the AI coming serves you well. If it's something that you're going to use or it's going to benefit your job or your business as far as advertising or marketing or just help you cut a few corners and save some money, that's fine. I hate the fact that uh, it might hurt people as far as employment, but as it grows, it might create more jobs down the road, even though now it's cutting into some of the jobs. So, uh, like I said, it's something that's going to come. It's not something that we're going to be able to stop. Just like any other kind of technology that comes, and some of the old things comes obsolete. Like if you're a certain age, you remember the phone booths, that were everywhere, and you had to have them. You had to, if you wanted to communicate with somebody and you were out, you had to stop by there, a phone booth, and put in your dime or a quarter or however much it cost at the time to call people. And now you can just pull your phone out your back pocket and anywhere you are and communicate with anybody you want to, anywhere in the world, as a matter of fact. So technology is here and it's going to come. So be ready for it. Be ready for the pros and cons of it. And just hope it's not something that's going to cost a lot of people harm, or hurt or harm because someone wants to use it for the wrong purposes on someone that might ruin their career, ruin their marriage. you know, you can think of all kind of scenarios that somebody might use it in a bad way and to get back at somebody. Just have somebody look like they're doing something that they had nothing to do with. And I guess as time goes by, it's going to get easier and easier. But anyway, this is the Slim Nation One on Ones experience coming to you on this Friday night. And I hope it's hot just about everywhere. I hope everyone is staying cool and uh, however you can and hydrated. And just remember, I'm here in the city of Portsmouth, Virginia. And just like any other city, it's a lot of homeless people out there, and not all of them. That's a choice that they make to be there. You hear some people when they make that choice. Not everybody makes the choice to become homeless. Any circumstance can put you out there at any time of your life if you're not prepared. And just we think about homeless people being out there in the cold. Just think about being out there in this heat now, and which is why I'm glad uh, a multiple uh, uh, we have multiple cooling centers or areas, like the library or centers that um, people in the city of Portsmouth. I'm sure other cities have that too. You just have to know where they are, and in most public buildings, I think libraries, something like that, because you see people going in there. Just don't go in there and camp out or disrupt things. Just go in there and make sure you cool off and don't be out in the weather too long. But the ones that are accepting people for that purpose, it's a list on the city's website, and a lot of the homeless people that don't have the ability to go on their computers or their phones and see which ones are. If you know where they are and you see homeless people out, you can let them know. You can direct them to where they can go and be cool and safe. There's nothing worse than being out there in uh, 90 some degree weather with the index feeling like it's 105. You know, and not enough water to hydrate. And sometimes it's not enough. You can't drink enough if you're hot. If you're out there sweating and losing more water than you can take in and your body can process. Uh, you're at risk of a heat stroke, which is, I'm sure, is no fun. But anyway, so look out for those people that are less fortunate than you. And before you start complaining about they made a choice to be out there, remember not all of them did make that choice. And if they're out there, they still need your help. So uh, sometimes you offer the help and they refuse it, but that's not on you. At least you know you offered, or at least gave them directions where they can go and get help. So because it could be you, it could be one of your family members out there, and you don't know it. You know, 'cause not they don't always go, "Hey, I'm homeless," you know. So uh, I just have to shake my head at that because it could be anybody. It could be me. It could be you. Uh, Especially when you think everything is going well and something could happen that is very unexpected and put you right out there, uh, homeless or houseless, as they uh, refer to it sometimes, because we all know people that are working every day but still homeless or in shelters because even though they're working, circumstances hit them hard and they're trying to work their way back into uh, a better situation. They just need the help now. But anyway, take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Have a great weekend and be aware, be informed, and most of all, be involved. And sometimes when you're feeling down, try to create a smile on your face and smile at somebody else. Never know what that smile would do for somebody else that's in your presence. You never know what they're going through. And sometimes it helps you. It helps you. It's therapeutic for you to uh, just sort of smile at somebody else and wish somebody else another day. And if they give it back to you, that sort of helps you as well. Doesn't cost you a thing to do that. Take care and excuse me, just be careful and be safe out there and always be aware of your surroundings. We'll see you next time on the Slim Nation one-on-ones experience and the pop-up. And make sure you watch the Slim and Shona show. Well, it's called Our Take on It, featuring Slim and Shona this Tuesday at 7 p.m. on our YouTube channel and Facebook pages, where we have another special guest and which I'll be promoting over the weekend. You'll see who it is. It might be somebody you know, it might be somebody you want to know with an interesting story. We all have a story to tell. See you next time. Take care.